exec, el Vélez, el Vélez, el Vélez, el fenómeno que todos quieren ser, el chamaquito que no pueden entender.
How we doing, guys? Welcome to episode 123 of the Exec Talk Podcast. I'm your host, Alvarez. How we doing? We have arrived at the portal. When I mean the portal, I mean we have crossed over from when it's just baseball, soccer because of the Euro Cup and the Copa America, racing. But now people are reporting to training camp in the NFL. We are officially around a month, maybe 2 months away from actual football on the college stage, and like 2-3 months away or closer to seeing NFL. Now, before all this happens, training camp will start, and we'll see who holds in, who holds out, who's gonna really like stir things up for a contract. As of right now, Ayuk still unsigned. He's on the franchise tag. We're on 1 year left. He's on 1 year left. T. Higgins unsigned. He's on the franchise tag. So there's some still stirring of the pot that has to happen. But what we're gonna talk about today, by the way, thank you for being here. Thank you for supporting. Follow, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, comment, and follow me on all my socials. Hit me up any there. Give me topics to talk about that you guys want me to talk about. Shout out to Slim Shady for going back to his roots. Just had to say that because that album was incredible. I don't care what nobody say. That album was incredible. The only thing that I can think can top it, probably Kendrick's album. Maybe. That's a maybe. But I think Kendrick can actually do it. So let's talk about Alcaraz beating Djokovic for the second straight Wimbledon title, his second straight Wimbledon title. I think that, he won in straight sets, 6-2, 6-2, 6-4. Djokovic tried. Emphasis on tried. Gave it the old good college try, best I can, and still came up 3 straight sets. Some of the shots Alcaraz was playing and hitting, making Djokovic a master of making people run and chase. He made Djokovic run and chase and tired him out and hit shots that Joker just couldn't believe. And I think the torch has been passed. The era of Roger Federer, Djokovic, and Nadal has officially closed. It is the era of Alcaraz now. I think he should be able to dominate for the next 10, 15 years unless there's another young comer that comes up to him to challenge him. He's Spanish, but if there's a young, a rival to him, a Rafa Nadal, another Djokovic, but right now I'm not seeing it. So shout out to Alcaraz, the second of many, especially Wimbledon's, and that was a great match. It was fun, short, didn't last too long. Longest set was the third set because they kept going to tiebreakers, triple championship point. Djokovic fought back, but every time Djokovic lost serve, it was over. He couldn't stop the forehand. Some of the backhand shots were stupid. He had him running, guessing. I mean, it was tough. It was tough for Djokovic fans. So shout out to Alcaraz for that. In Indy, Scotty Mack. It was the double Iowa weekend. Joseph Newgarden was the favorite. Of course, he's won there like 6 times. But Scotty Mack finally breaks through in an oval. He's been wanting to win in that oval. He almost won at Indy. I think that this kid coming from V8 supercars, just like VSG, SVG in NASCAR with 3 championships, 151 races, in a pretty short span. I think that this guy's destined for greatness in Indy. The guy's a hell of a pilot, hell of a driver, and Penske got themselves a good one for a very, very long time to come. And then in the second race on Sunday, another Penske car went. Will Power, one of the greats in the sport, returns back to the victory lane, is firmly in the points chase. Alex Palou crashed out the first race while being on the pole, by the way. So he crashed out in the first race. In the second race, he got second, so still salvaged some points there, although he didn't finish the first race. This is going to be a shootout to the end. It's close. It's, between Scott Dixon, Will Power. You still got Scotty Mack. You still got Joseph Newgarden. And, of course, Alex Palou and Pato. It's going to be very, very interesting how this IndyCar season ends up and finishes. All right, let's get to the Euro and the Copa America. I said last week I expected Spain to win the Euros. And the reason why is because Lamine Yamal, I believe, is the best player on the field, and they're the best team. What happened? Exactly that. You get into the 47th minute, and everything is like, okay, Spain is kind of controlling the ball. England's had some chances, but there wasn't a lot. There was action, but not a lot of action. There was one shot on goal in the first half, 0-0, 47th minute. We had just come out of halftime. And Lamine Yamal from right to left gets this ball on his foot and passes a beautiful ball to Nico Sanchez, the 21-year-old, basically like running on a dead sprint, and catches the front of his foot right into the back of the net. Boom! 1-0. Woo! Spain! 1-0. Woo! All right. So then we think, right, for people that are going for Spain, people think, oh, now we just got to do park the bus. Bullshit. We tried to park the bus. They tried to park the bus. But, you can only park the bus so much to the point where you're getting a little bit, complacent in how you play. That's exactly what happened to Spain. They got complacent. They allowed England to control the ball in their half, get deep in, have corners, get deep into the deep third, get in the box, threaten. So, in the 73rd minute, after Ollie Watkins is subbed in, and after Palmer gets subbed in, so the super sub and the guy that came in with him that gave him the assist also came in. And Ollie Watkins came in for Harry Kane. Palmer came in for, not Bellingham. Oh, man, I forgot who he came in for. It wasn't Saka either, I don't think so. But Palmer came in. And Bellingham sets this man up. They get the ball in the box. It's kind of, it's pitter-patting in the box. Ball lands on Bellingham's right foot. Bellingham just taps it to Palmer coming in out of the box on a dead sprint. Just taps it to him. And Palmer hits this thing on a dead sprint. Boom! Lower 90 on the left side. Keeper couldn't do nothing about it. 1-1. Oh, my God. England is tied up. And then you see a couple threats here from England, a couple threats here from Spain. And out of nowhere, the guy that nobody thought was going to score, okay, because the super sub, I mean, Lamine Yamal played great. Olor, I think that's his name. Man, number 10 for for Spain that saved the game, but we'll get to that. So they put in Oyarzabal. This guy's pretty ugly, pretty short. You know, I thought he was there for defense, maybe a little bit of passing, but this man, like, the way that he scored was great. It was great. And I didn't even write who got the assist. What? Wow. I wrote that Lamine Yamal did the assist for Nico Williams, the first one. But I forgot which one who assisted the other one. So we're going to see. It was the 80. Marco Correa. Cucurella, the guy with the giant hair like that. Yeah, that's the guy who assisted him. But it was a beautiful goal, man. I mean, right foot shot from the center of the box to the center of the goal. It was a good goal. And right there when it was 2-1, I said, all right, now they parked the bus and they really let up. Until the 94th minute. The 89th minute. In the 89th minute, it was a corner. It was a corner. It was a corner. It bounces off of one head, gets blocked by the keeper of Spain, bounces in the air again, gets hit again on a header. Number 10 for Spain, which I cannot believe I'm forgetting this man's name. I just can't. I can't understand it. Olmo. Sorry. The top goal scorer. Olmo, after his keeper blocks the shot, 89th minute, this game was about to be over. Blocks the shot. It's in the air. It gets hit again, header, dead straight, and almost stands right in the middle of the goal and goes, doom! And then they hit it again and it goes over. And then essentially that's the game over right there. Absolute hell of a game. The right team that was supposed to win won. I think Spain has a crew, especially with Lamine Yamal, probably when he is 19, since he just turned 17, so maybe 18, 19 years old, to go for the World Cup. They have a hell of a team with Nico Williams, and they have a hell of a young team. Good. They have Olmo, Morata, Carvajal might be still playing, Cucurella, Laporte, El Rui, Rodrigo, that won the best player. Just a hell of a match, man. And for England, it just speaks to not enough creativity, not enough skill. Bellingham and Saka, Ollie Watkins, Kane, like, they're nice in parts, but together they just don't mesh, and for that game to go down the way it did, it was only right. Now, that it was a super sub that nobody thought was going to score, Oyarzabal, crazy. Because, you expect Lamine to score. Nico Williams is an attacker. You expect him to score. Morata. But this was a battle of, after the first half, it was 45 minutes of absolute war. And Spain was more prepared for that war. And that's the bottom line. Second Euro Cup final in a row that England loses. Spain is the first country ever to win 4 Euro Cups. So they break the record. I believe it was with Germany, with amount of Euro Cups, or France, and now Spain has a squad that can fight for a World Cup in 2 years here in the U.S. So hell of a game. Now let's get to the game that everybody just. All right, guys, listen. For a 1-0 game, this thing was action-packed from minute one. From second one, this thing was action-packed. Missed shots, close calls, saves, fouls, non-fouls, injuries, crazy substitutions. Like, everything you could want in a soccer final, including the absolute embarrassment of a stadium, because we have to talk about this, guys. What an absolute embarrassment for the Hard Rock Stadium to be in that shape after a game like that. Are you telling me that you can't corral people and as they're coming in like you do for every other game, or we're so devoid of fans in that stadium that we can't control people coming. We can't control how many people are coming in. We weren't prepared for the amount of people that showed up. The stadium holds 65,000. And we were, I think, at 67, 68,000. So we're talking about plus 3,000 over capacity. And 7,000 of those people did not have tickets. How are you telling me that people that played $1,500, $2,000, $4,000 for tickets had to stay outside and not watch the game while 7,000 and probably more sneaked in, literally like, through the ventilation systems? Twitter went crazy. Ventilation systems while they were talking and everything like that. Like the commentators, they had to push back. The whole stadium had to push back the game. They pushed it back to 9:15. This game was supposed to kick off at 8. The clock was supposed to start. It started at 9:15. Throws off the rotation and the some of the routines for the players. They didn't know when they were going to start. They pushed it back 15 minutes at first, and they pushed it back 30. We didn't know it was going to start. And then to top it off, the worst thing that happened, they opened the gates twice, basically like for stampedes to happen, and people got trampled. The 72 club entrance got destroyed. People were getting into the, not to the ventilation system, but basically hopping the circular things that go up to your seats, like hopping that, running away from cops, fighting off cops. Like, bro, we're not ready for a World Cup if this is what we're doing on a Copa America final. Now, I do agree that Colombia-Argentina is a very toxic final, especially here in Miami. Very, very toxic. Maybe if it was a different game, maybe Uruguay or maybe like, I don't want to say U.S., but Brazil, maybe a team like that, maybe it doesn't attract the amount of, populace that came. But man, it was an absolute embarrassment. It's going to cost thousands of dollars to fix that stadium. The stairs glass got all broken. Yeah, real disgrace, guys. I don't understand why we have to act this way. Like, if you pay, go to the game now. Go early so you can get in early. That's my thing. When you go to a sporting event, you do not show up at the time the sporting event starts. Especially if it's a World Series, NBA Finals, World Cup, NCAA bowl game, like any of that. You cannot do that because you run that risk. You run an event being that nuts. And that's what we got. It was full, But there were people in VIP seats that weren't supposed to be there, and and they saw the game for free. They have that story to tell. But let's get to the game. Messi got hurt, probably broke his ankle. It looked like a bad sprain when it blew up. He was playing well. He was passing. He couldn't run much, obviously, because it's Messi. Like he's 37, so he's not going to run past people. But he was passing the ball well. They were moving the ball well. They tried to control the possession. It didn't happen. Colombia had most of the possession. The possession broke down 55.5% to Colombia, 44.5% to Argentina, which is very uncharacteristic of Argentina. Very uncharacteristic. So, and on top of that, you got to understand, like, Argentina's the type of team that plays with possession, like a Spain. Like, they want possession. So, for them not to have possession, for Colombia to dominate the possession, I mean, it was 6 shots on goal to 4 shots on goal for Colombia. There were 19 shot attempts by Colombia, 11 by Argentina. 2 yellow cards on each side, 4 corner kicks for Argentina, 7 for Colombia. You got 4 saves to 5 saves by Colombia. Like, it was everything you wanted. You think the first game was exciting? This game was exciting because of the tension. I was in a Colombian household watching the game. And I'm talking about from minute 1, it didn't help that we had to wait an hour and 15 minutes to see the game start. But since minute 1, it was pins and needles and like, oh my God, oh, scream here, in the mist. Like, it was incredible. The type of atmosphere, even at a just watching it from home, was incredible. You could feel it. But Argentina was the better team. On paper, Colombia had been playing the best. Argentina didn't lose a game, but Colombia was playing the best. So what was going to give? What gave is that Argentina sold out the corners, so like the sides and like the attacking of the sides. By Cordoba was in the front. Then you had Luis Diaz, James. And you literally sold out to stop Luis Diaz and James. You literally sold out your whole, like, that was your prerogative. Your prerogative was to stop them too. And once that happened, Colombia only knows how to attack off set pieces. So if the 2 guys that mainly get the set pieces are not handling the ball, you get that type of stalemate game. Now, they had chances. In the first half, they had chances, and we went 0-0 to the half. They had chances. This game was 0-0 until the 84th minute. Okay? Actually, no. This game was 0-0 till the 112th minute. 0-0. 0-0. I'm talking about every second. Every single second. Shout out to Shakira. Was a good halftime show. Shout out to Karol G. It was a good Colombian anthem. But so what happens? Messi gets hurt in the first half. He's running. He plants his ankle. It happens before he gets rolled up on, but it didn't help that he got rolled up on. Immediately right after. He plants his ankle, basically gives up. I guess he put too much force on it, and it twists like that. But something's in there that's wrong, because it blew up like a balloon after the adrenaline went down and they took him out. He obviously wanted to stay in. It was Angel Di Maria's last, he was retiring from football after this game. So, but Angel Di Maria was the most creative guy on Argentina. He's the one that was making the attacks. He's the one that was coming down the sides. Like, he's the one creating, trying to create passes. Like, the Argentinian attack was good, Obviously could have been better, 1-0, 112th minute, and from a super sub. But the turning point of this game came when James had to leave. He did play the whole game. I'm not going to bash him for that. But this is a final. You can rest later. You can rest tomorrow. There is no tomorrow. And for you to be the brains of the operation of your squad and have to come out knowing that you're going to extra time. You are going to extra time. It is 0-0. And for you, even though he fought with his not head coach, with his manager, you saw him like trying, please, like let me stay in, and the manager took him out. So I think that's on the manager, not on James, because I think James wanted to stay in and understood that he had to. Took him out, put Quintero in, young kid, makes one mistake, and by the 75th minute, Colombia, you could tell, was starting to wear a little bit. By the 90th, you can tell they were tired, they were gassed. Not to say that Argentina wasn't, and the Argentinian players wasn't, but you could tell. You could tell that Colombia was gassed, especially on the offensive side of the ball. Bad passes, turnovers, just bad decisions. And that's what cost them. One bad decision by Quintero, trying to pass it over half, gets intercepted. And this is another turning point. You remove James, and Argentina still in their back pocket, even after Messi gets off. And Messi, once he got hurt, like, Argentina won this game for Messi because Messi couldn't do nothing. Argentina still has in their bag the leading scorer of the tournament in Lautaro Martinez. Like, it is incredible. Absolutely incredible. It is incredible how you have that still in the bag. Lautaro Martinez, the guy who scored 6 goals in La Copa America and is tied for the Golden Boot. Like, how do you allow that? You remove your brain and your setup man to then have Argentina combat that by putting their most successful and aggressive player offensively right at the moment where you need it. And like I said, Quintero played okay, but it's not James. And he made one mistake. He passed it, too long, got intercepted. 2 passes later, Lautaro gets set up. So nice. So nice. And he puts that shit right in the back of the net. Boom! Hit the goalie in the head like a sniper. Boom! Let's not talk about snipers, all right? America stands as one. That's all I'm going to say. Which is crazy. But, America stands as one. Fight, fight, fight. But it's insane how Argentina just had that in their back pocket. He was waiting and waiting to get him fresh legs and waiting, and he puts them in. And as soon as he puts them in, you just felt like, this might be where the goal comes from. The aggressiveness, how he's been playing, the 6 goals. And man, he hit this thing so pure. Even when the ball was set up, when the pass got to him, I was like, this has to be in the back of the net. And boom, 112th minute to end it. And an incredible game. Incredible game, top to bottom. Some calls called, some calls not. But it was refereed the way it was refereed. There was plenty of chances for both teams, and Argentina just outlasted them. I said it from the beginning, and even last week. I said Colombia has to score first, and preferably pretty fast. Because if not, Argentina's just going to lull them to sleep. lull them to sleep, and they can always attack. It could come out of nowhere for them. So shout out to Argentina, 16th Copa America. They break the tie with Uruguay with 15, and I think Brazil with 15. They're the most successful country in the Copa America. And Messi goes Copa America, World Cup, Copa America. Absolutely incredible. Di Maria leaves the sport on top as a champion. And this might be the last time Messi steps on an international field. 37. I don't know if he's going to go for the World Cup in 2 years at 39. The team seems to be in pretty good hands. They have a team that could win a World Cup. They're young. They're pretty athletic. They've got goal scorers. But we shall see. But shout out to Argentina. All right. Couple of things that we're going to talk about. Little things here and there. We're going to talk about little things that are dangling here and there after we finish with the Copa America and the Euro Cup, which were incredible. Okay, which were incredible. And I just want to leave it at that. Like those two back-to-back games were absolutely on the edge of your seat soccer. It was incredible. Ryan Blaney wins at Pocono. Hamlin was catching him at the end. It was a tricky race with the tricky triangle. Didn't mean to do that pun, but you get it. A lot of pit stops were really big. Like if you spent extra time on pit stops, if you fueling, if you refueled just a second too long or misfueled your car. Ty Gibbs was pretty up front, blew the engine. People that were up front got sent back because people took 2 tires, including Denny and Blaney. And Blaney just was too quick and just kept driving away. And, shout out to Ryan Blaney. They go to the Brickyard for the Brickyard 400 this upcoming weekend. I'm very excited about that. Legendary racetrack at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. There, I like Kyle Larson. There, I like William Byron. I like Ty Gibbs there. Tyler Reddick there. The classic guys. Kyle Busch has been having a miserable season to this point. I believe in him there. Martin Truex Jr., same thing. He might have won this race, but got a bad restart. There was a lot of cautions. In the Indy race, there was a massive crash at the end. When the checker flag flew. We get back. No, we don't. Not yet. It's been 1 week. So 2 weeks from now, or after this week, we get back to Formula One in Hungary for the Hungarian Grand Prix at Spa. No, the Belgian Grand Prix at Spa. Very excited for that. The last little things that we got to talk about. The home run derbies tonight. I think I got Gunnar Henderson or Bobby Witt. Most people got Bobby Witt from what I've heard. A lot of people on the kid. I believe in the kid. I just believe that Gunnar Henderson has a more natural swing. That's just me. That's just my personal opinion. I just believe that he has a more natural home run swing. Dark horses, I don't think there are many dark horses except Alec Boehm and maybe Teoscar Hernandez. Adolis can hit a bunch of balls out. Pete Alonso's a former champion. So is Vladdy Guerrero. So I expect a good battle. It's gonna be. They changed the format again. It's gonna be 40 balls per person for the first round. The top 4 guys go to the next round, and then it's head to head, and then there's a final. I think it's going to be cool. Let's see who hits the longest. Vladdy usually is the one that hits the longest. Pete can. I'm excited about Gunnar Henderson. I'm excited about Bobby Witt. Let's see what Teoscar Hernandez does. Let's see what Alec Boehm does. Marcelo Zuna, Adolis. It'll be very fun. And then tomorrow we have the All Star game. And we got our wish, ladies and gentlemen. Paul Skeens is the NL starting pitcher. Well deserved. He just came off that super start of 77 pitches, no hits, 11 Ks, 1.9 ERA. The kid is basically in line for a Cy Young. Him and Chris Sale, that's who's battling about it right now in the NL. But thank God that they chose the right thing. He's gonna be the first rookie starting pitcher in All-Star game history. This kid is amazing. We're gonna get really big matchups right away. And I absolutely love it. Let's get to some basketball things. Some things that have been floating around with Shams and the Summer League and stuff like that. The Clippers and Russell Westbrook plan to part ways. I don't know where he's going. I assume that he's going to retire because there's nothing. It's been 17 years or 16 years for him. I think it's time. I don't believe that any team would want him, and if they did, that he's definitely coming off the bench. And to get on a contender, I just don't think that there's somebody out there that would want him. The All-Star game lineups for tomorrow. In the National League, you got Ketel Marte, Shohei Ohtani, Trey Turner, Bryce Harper, Wilson Contreras, Yelich, Christian Yelich, Alec Boehm, Teoscar Hernandez, Jerickson Profar, and Paul Skeens starting. For the American League, which I think is a better lineup just overall, just based on who's at the bottom of the lineup compared to the other one. Steven Kwan, best hitter in the league by right now. You have Gunnar Henderson, Soto, Judge, Alvarez, Ramirez, Guerrero Jr., Rutschman, Simeon, and Burns. We're not getting Tarek Skubal. I don't know why. Don't kill me. My choice would have been Tarek Skubal. I'm not mad at Corbin Burns. He just won the Cy Young. I'm not mad at it. I just wish that it was Paul Skeens versus Tarek Skubal, two of the future stars of the sport. Corbin Burns is a star of the sport right now and will be in the future as well. But I think that Skeens, Tarek Skubal would have been the matchup. I think that the American League has a little bit of advantage. They still got Bobby Witt in the chamber. You still got Ellie De La Cruz. You have people to play with in the American League. They still, but for the National, you still got Marcelo Osuna. You still got big boys in the waiting in the wings, but you got Westberg on the American League. So it's going to be a very interesting how this game goes. It could be a home run fest. It could be a scoring fest, or it could be a pitcher's duel. There's a lot of good pitchers coming out of each side. But I think that the American League has a little bit of an advantage just because of the lineup. And what I mean is, after Yelich, which is the sixth batter, after Yelich, you got Bohm versus Guerrero, you take Vladdy. You got Teoscar versus Adley, you take Adley. And you got Jerickson versus Simeon, I take Simeon. That's just what I mean there. But I think it should be a very good game. Another thing on the NBA front, Zach LaVine and Nikola Vucevic have generated zero trade talks and trade buzz for the Bulls. They're basically logging up the minutes for young players. Like I imagine they want to play Matas Buzelis, who's been killing the summer league. I imagine they want to play more of Desumu, Kobe White, that young lineup. So we'll see what happens. I think LaVine could help somebody. I don't know about Vooch, but I think LaVine could definitely help somebody if he wants to, turn his playing style into winning basketball. Some things in the baseball, the White Sox are insisting for Spencer Jones to the Yankees if they want, and it has to any trade for Garrett Cole, the starting pitcher, the really good starting pitcher, that the Yankees want because of how Garrett Cole's going right now, and just to add another. I think it's to replace Nestor. I think they would like a Garrett Cole, Crochet, Stroman, Rodon, Hill type of rotation. Hill in that third spot behind Crochet and Garrett Cole, if Garrett Cole is going to be Garrett Cole. We haven't seen him yet. And Garrett Crochet. They want Spencer Jones, the outfielder. He's the 74th ranked prospect on MLB Pipeline. I don't know if they'll do it, but they need Garrett Crochet, and they need a first baseman who they should go after Vladdy. Yoshinobu Yamamoto is placed on a 60-day DL. He's not coming back to till at least August 16th. He's done. Hell of a first season, like 12 starts. We saw him get better. We'll see you next year. Let's see. Taj Gibson, $3.3 million deal with the Hornets. He's not going to do nothing. Jalen Brunson took a massive pay cut. He could have gotten paid over $200 million next year. He took a pay cut this year. Mikal Bridges, his new teammate, is talking about taking a pay cut. So they just want to stay together and have everybody together, which is OG Anunoby and the whole squad. So I'm not mad at it. Johnny Juzang, which I saw in college, signed a 4-year, $12 million deal with the Utah Jazz to return to them. He's part of the rebuild. I think he's a good bench player right now and could work his way up onto being a starter, especially shooting and his length. Jalen Brunson agreed to a 4-year, $156.5 million extension. The deal gives him $113 million less guaranteed than he's eligible for in 1 year. So next year he was eligible for a giant extension, $200 million plus. But he wants to win. He wants his team to be together. So, I can't blame the kid. I think he's going to get another contract anyway. KJ Martin signs a 2-year, $60 million deal to go with the Sixers to come off their bench. Good energy piece. Jamal Cain leaves Miami to go to the Pelicans on a 2-way deal. I thought he was going to do something with us, but I guess not. And yeah, Skeens through 10 career starts is 6-0. 66 and a third innings pitched, 89 Ks, and 1.9 ERA. Absolutely disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. Cody Bellinger fractured his left middle finger. He'll get some days. Santander is going to the All Star game. The Lakers are showing interest in Wendell Carter Jr. I know they need shooting, but they're grasping at straws at this point. Astros have inquired about Pete Alonso from the Mets. It would be a really good pickup because they just DFA'd Jose Abreu and they need a first base with power. Nobody better than Pete to do that. So I think that's a good that's definitely a good move that they could do. The Cavaliers are expected to reach an agreement on a full extension for Mobley, Max. Cade Cunningham already got his. So did Scotty Barnes and Fred Wagner. So he's just next in line. And Jamal Adams went to the Titans. Other than that, Jurgen Klopp, the U.S. team tried to go get him to see if he wanted to coach after Klingerman got fired or relieved of his duties. He said no. He doesn't want to coach the men's team. He doesn't even want to coach soccer right now. So pretty hilarious that the U.S. team gets turned down another coach. So that's it for, this early week. We'll see what happens in the Home Run Derby. We'll see what happens in the All-Star game. As NFL training camp starts opening up, we'll see what storylines pipe up. The last thing I'm going to say, Rob Dillingham, great pick and great trade for the Minnesota Timberwolves. Terrence Shannon was one of the steals of the draft for the Minnesota Timberwolves. Matas Buzelis was a great pick for the Bulls, and the steal of the draft is Reed Shepherd. The guy's shooting over 45% from three. Has scored over 20 in every summer league game and plays like he doesn't belong there, like he should be playing with the big boys. So I think the Rockets got themselves another one along with Amen Thompson and Cam Whitmore and Jalen Green and Sengun. So we'll see what happens there with the rotation. But I like what the Rockets are building right there in Ime Udoka. Other than that, that's all I got. I love you guys. God bless. Like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, hit the comments. Follow me on all my socials. Love you guys, and I hit you with the outro.
Que todos quieren ser el chamaquito que no puede